Hey guys, I recently ran across this, and frankly, it's disturbing and it's upsetting. And the reason is because of the number of subscribers this particular person has. He could very well be destroying our hobby as we know it, and and he isn't even aware of it, and that's the part that really bugs me. When I was talking to one of the eBay sellers, he referenced this guy, so I looked him up, and well, let's take a quick peek at what we got here. Before I even do that, this guy makes shorts, and you can see here most of his stuff came from TikTok, and he just transfers it over to YouTube. And he also brought all of his followers from TikTok over. He has over 900,000 followers. So every time this guy says something, there's almost 1 million people listening to it. And if only 1% of them act on it, well, then he better make sure his information is correct. Now, the sad thing is that he uses eBay to verify his thoughts. And that's not correct. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me just hit play here.
Here is the easiest way to turn $1 into 10. This is simple. Look at the serial number and see if one number at the end is higher than the rest. It should look like this. You see how the 6 is higher than the rest? This sold today for $10 with almost $5 for shipping. This error is actually called an odometer note.
So here's a guy pimping out gas pump errors, and there's literally how they define it, an odometer note. Now you see the difference here? See how there's a portion of another note there? Yes. If you have a note that a portion like that is sticking up and you can see two different notes, that's an error. That's worth a lot of money. But when you start talking about just a minor up or down portion, like he was saying, that's worth $10, and he uses eBay to verify that it's worth $10 because people are paying $10. Well, no, the people that are paying $10 for that are basically getting scammed. If you take that exact same note that guy paid $10 for to an actual dealer, the dealer wouldn't give him anything above face value for it. But guys like this will show an eBay posting that sold for $10 to nearly 1 million people. Now, how many of those people are going to believe that that's worth $10? So then they will go onto eBay, spend $10 on these notes that aren't worth anything, and now you've got a whole flood of eBay sales saying this stuff is worth this much, when it's not. It's simply a guy like this who is touting non-errors and showing how much they're selling for. That's a huge damage to the hobby. Now, how can I say that something that's sold on eBay isn't really worth that? Because the average capitalistic person will say something is worth whatever somebody will pay for it. Okay, well, let's go a little further then, because I also brought up, well, here, let me show you this here. This is the guy. This is the coin channel tube. You can see 909,000 subscribers. The vast majority of his stuff is just shorts. Most of it is also coins. He doesn't do a whole lot with currency. And I've watched 3 of his currency ones, and I just cringed because he doesn't really know what he's talking about. But that's neither here nor there. You can judge whether his coin stuff is factual. Anyway, here's the problem with using eBay to verify value. Let me just go right over here, because I brought up the page already. Gold seal error. Okay, you guys saw my video about this. Here's a $2 gold seal error. These are sold listings, okay? So this $2 gold seal error, first of all, it's not. What this is this is a $2 red seal note. And because it was left in somebody's pocket when they went swimming, the chlorine altered the red seal into a yellow seal. Or because this note was left in somebody's pocket when it went to the dry cleaners, those chemicals altered it. Or this note was in a window and the UV rays of the sun altered the red to orange or yellow. This is not an error, okay? This is damage to the note. It's a chemically altered note. Now, because it's a chemically altered note, it's damage. It's not worth more because it's damaged. You can take one of these notes and do that to it. You can go out and spend $8 on a red seal $2 bill and then chemically damage the note, and now you're going to tell me you can sell it for $125? No, that's not a real error. Here's another one. This person was asking $168. It's sold for best offer. Let's scroll down a little further. Here's a $5 note sold for $62. Let's keep going. Here's somebody who sold a 2 and a 5 for $238. That's what it's sold for. Sold on October 21st, 2022. These are actual sales. Now, according to the guy that I showed you at first, he can look at this and say, well, apparently they're worth $238 because they sold for that on eBay. But they're not. That's the thing. These are not worth $238. This seller basically scammed that buyer out of $238. And if you don't believe me, let's just go over here. I put in a very simple Google search for yellow seal error. And the very first thing it says, if you have a note that has a yellow seal that is not one of these types, referring to gold certificates well, anyway, here, it is an altered note. This would include United States notes, Federal Reserve notes, Federal Reserve Bank notes. Any $2 note with a yellow seal is fake. Now, if we go a little further down, is there such thing as a yellow seal $2 bill? To put things simply, there is no such thing as a yellow seal $2 or $5 bill. Red seal $2 and $5 legal tender notes are frequently victims of chemists. Okay? So, now that we know for a fact there is no such thing as a yellow seal $2 bill or a yellow seal $5 bill, let's go back here to eBay. But eBay says there is because this guy sold it for this. No, now do you understand that this seller just swindled that guy out of $238? What's this guy going to do? The best hope is that this guy can now swindle these notes to some other unsuspecting person. And why is that? Because people are using eBay as a reference point to actual values. That's why when we go to this guy who simply wants to take any random note that he finds and look to see what it's selling for on eBay, that doesn't mean that it's actually worth that much. Does that make sense to you guys? I don't care what eBay sold it for, okay? eBay is full of a bunch of people selling a bunch of things that aren't worth what they think to a bunch of people who don't know what the things are actually worth. And when a guy with this many subscribers says it, well, it must be true, right? After all, he's on the internet. Now, yes, there are great things on eBay. Don't get me wrong that way. But do your research. I hope this guy contacts me because in the 3 videos of his I watch, all 3, he was trying to say a star note that had mismatched serial numbers was worth $35,000. Well, no, the thing that made that note worth so much is it was a star note with mismatched serial numbers, but it was a web note. A regular star web note is worth $1,500. If you find an error on one of those, yes, it's going to be worth $35,000. But he didn't even bring that up because, well, clearly he doesn't know what a web note is. And it just scares me because most of his videos are on coins. And with that many followers, I don't know. I didn't watch any of his coin stuff. You guys can do that and determine whether or not there's any truth to it or not. But, yeah, the fact that it's sold on eBay doesn't mean it's actually worth that. eBay simply documents what somebody scams somebody else out of when it comes to things like fake gold seals, like these here. I already did my video. Here's another one, $102. This one's just a partial $10. No big deal there. But yeah, it's so sad to see like this, $238. Or the most recent, the ones right at the top, $125 here, $168 here. They don't exist. People, please do your homework. Please. Just because it's on the internet doesn't make it true. And just because somebody has a ton of followers doesn't mean they have any idea what they're talking about. All right, guys. I thought it was important for me to get this out there, and yeah, I'm going to put at this guy so that he can know that I put this video out there, because I appreciate the fact that he's trying to get people into the hobby, but you got to tell them the truth. All right. I'll see you next time, guys.